All right, this is case number 21CV061, Kansas Auto Sales Inc. This is David Marshall. I think that there's representative attorney Molly.
More, yes, sir.
You are David Marshall, and you're preparing documents.
Yeah, I couldn't find counsel to represent me around here,
All right.
unfortunately.
All right. Well, the matter set for trial today, and then there was also a motion by consolidated hearing today. So, in presentation of evidence, they can be presented. Joe. All right, Mr. Molly, you wish to make an opening statement?
Yes, Your Honor. Do you want to begin with the contempt hearing?
Stand up, please, and address the board. I just said we're going to consider that joint, so you can make a joint statement, your statement, and present your evidence.
Your Honor, this is a case, my client, Mr. Goodman, had a car lot. He sold a car, classified Mustang, which is like, it had a lot of improvements on it. We'll show pictures. We'll show before and after. Somebody bought the car and put a fan in it in the eastern part of the lot. The defendant in this matter states that he is in the business of repossessing cars. He spoke to my client, and the defendant said, "I'll go get your car. I'll bring it back to Fairborn, Ohio." I said, "Okay." They arrived with a fee for the services, $250. Mr. Marshall went, picked up the car, but never made it to Fairborn, Ohio. Mr. Marshall at that time was dating a person by the name of Pearsall. The car appeared in her driveway, and after that, Mr. Marshall dismantled the car. The car had a lot of very expensive things. There's something called Celine wheels, which were magnets. Had a 383 Chevy engine, which is referred to as a stroke. And a Lion intake, radiator, everything the car was supposed to have to the max. All those parts are gone. We did receive the car. We took it from the sheriff's impound lot to Fairborn. It's sent it to Mr. Jim, the resident. He has a resident also. And the question is, where are all those parts? One question. The other question is, did
Mr. Sloan's going on.
I'm sorry, Your Honor, that I just turned.
We're turning it off.
Yes, sir.
All right, go ahead.
Another question is, whether Mr. Marshall misrepresented facts to Mr. Judge. He said he was in business, had been in business of repossessing cars. I researched the matter, Secretary of State, there is no such listing as a business. If he, and I requested the business records, I received it. I filed a motion to compel the business records. I still didn't receive anything. I filed a motion, I received an order from the court ordering that he provided the records. He did not provide it, so I filed a motion without contempt. So, the rest of it will be discussion of the condition of the car before and after. Thank you.
All right, Mr. Marshall, since you're representing yourself, you wish to make an opening statement, you may. An opening statement is for the purpose of just giving the court a preview of what you think the evidence is going to be, not testimony or argument.
Yes, no, I met the plaintiff.
I apologize.
I met the plaintiff off Facebook Marketplace about 7 years back, right before the repossession had occurred. A couple months after I bought the wheels from him, I went down there to the car lot, asked him if he needed any help with like mechanic work. Well, he hired me under the table as a mechanic. Well, I was working on cars, getting everything done. Well, then all of a sudden this Mustang came up, and he said the guy hasn't been paying on it. He said, "You want to go get it for me, or see if you can look at it?" Well, long story short, I told him yeah. Never agreed, never told him once at that time that I owned my own business. Told him I wanted to start my own business. Never once was it that I had my own business. And I ended up locating the car over in Zenith 35 storage. Had to get entry up there, get permission. And as soon as I went in there, I got the car. Well, as soon as I called him up and said it flowed up, he said he didn't want the car. Well, as I'm leaving that car lot, well, the storage unit, I'm heading back, and I'm talking to him on the phone. He said, "Well, I sure hope he ain't as dumb as he looks. Well, smarter than he looks, because both of our asses going to jail for theft." I said, "For what?" He said, "Theft." Well, come to find out, he didn't have no rights. He said he didn't pay taxes on the car at that time. And there was, on the agreement they had, it was only like a couple days difference. So he didn't even give time for the guy to default the record or whatever. But I was working for him under the table, and that's my whole thing. I even got, there was even a police statement, well, a police report where he made, regarding me having a set of keys to one of the cars at the car lot that I was working on. And now we're here. I don't know.
Okay.
That's all I got.
First witness, Mr. Bowling.
Yes, I'll call. You can't do it now.
You raise your right hand, be sworn, please. You solemnly swear that the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth, nothing but the truth.
Yes.
See right there. See that microphone there, to the right of you? The board there, will you slide it over in front of you? There you go.
Okay.
Mr. Jeff, how are you today?
Okay.
Will you please spell your last name for the court?
Gevedon.
What's the first name?
Kenneth.
Kenneth? Mr. Jeff, you heard Mr. Markey testify.
Yes.
No, you didn't testify, there's no mistake.
Oh. Tell me about the car in question. What kind of car?
It was an '89 Mustang box body, and it had a 383 Chevy stroker motor in it.
Can you explain what a 383 Chevy stroker is?
It has dart heads on it, has a high-rise manifold, big carburetor on it, big radiator to cool it down.
How long have you had that car?
About 7 years.
Have you signed that, or you just keep it for yourself?
I was keeping it for myself until a customer come in and wanted it.
And how much was the sale price on that?
$1,950, I think it was, $19,500.
Okay. Are you licensed with the state of Ohio to sell vehicles?
Yes, I am.
And your license is current?
Yes.
How did you meet Mr. Markey?
He showed up one day wanting to buy a set of mag wheels I had advertised on a marketplace.
Okay. How did this, what was the relationship with you, the car, Mr. Markey?
I was on the phone one day talking that I need to pick up a Mustang, and Mr. Marshall says, "Hey, I can go get that for you."
Did Mr. Marshall state that he was in the business, original investment games?
He said he was, but he wasn't sure if his license was still good or not.
Okay. Did you and Mr. Marshall reach an agreement regarding the repossession of this vehicle?
Yes, I said I paid $250.
Okay. Did he agree with that?
Yes.
Did you ever tell him you wouldn't pay it?
No.
What were the arrangements as far as Mr. Marshall picking up that vehicle?
I gave him the repo form, and he had the car for about 2 days, and he notified my salesman that he had the car, but the car was in Lynchburg, Ohio.
Did he explain why he took it to Lynchburg, Ohio, rather than taking it to the trip?
No.
Okay. You have, I want you to describe the vehicle at that time. Left the car.
I got pictures of it in the condition that it was.
Your Honor, may Mr. Goodman, pick up the pictures.
You can just pick up your phone.
Like to keep these organized.
They're all numbered. This is for the judge, if he wants to look at the pictures on describing. One through five. Yes, 1 through 5. Number 1.
Excuse me. Now, proceed, finish your.
Okay.
Why are you showing it?
Well, because you're supposed to be able to.
He's just trying to show you know what they are.
This
Okay, I was just trying to figure it out, sorry.
He just wants you to be aware of it so you can see what he's asking.
You know what it is, you know what we're talking about. Okay? There you are.
Thank you. Picture number 1 is the way the car looked when Mr. Marshall picked it up. Number 2 shows an indication of the wheels I had on it.
Could you be more specific regarding
The Celine wheels.
okay. The Selena.
Lean wheels,
Celine.
Celine, that's spelled
S-L-E-E-N.
Can you tell us what a Selena wheel is?
It's a, well, they were Celine Mustangs made, and the Celine wheels were to go with the Celine Mustangs. They're special wheels, high performance wheels. I paid $1,850 for the wheels. Picture number 3 shows the headlights, the aftermarket headlights I put in it. Those are European style headlights, mirror finish.
Do you remember how much you paid for those?
They were almost $100 a piece.
Okay.
Number 4 will show the difference in the depth of the back wheel versus the front wheel. The front wheel was a narrow wheel and the back wheel was a little wider. And picture number 5 shows how deep the rear wheels were.
What kind of tires were
They were tires at Celine, the company that I bought the wheels from furnished tires to.
they? Were was anything special on that?
Yeah, they were high performance tires for a high performance car.
Approximately how much did you pay for those?
$1,850.
Now, you have, that's before, you have some matches afterwards?
Yes, I did.
Okay.
You want to see it after?
Yes, of the same general area.
Okay.
When you see.
If you look at, Your Honor, if you look at 10 through 19, this is the Hillsborough Police Department where I picked the vehicle up.
You need to submit your own data, first see it.
Okay.
Thank you. Look. mistaken.
Okay, Your Honor, we're looking at pictures 10 through 19. This is when I picked the vehicle up at the Hillsborough Sheriff's Office for the yard. If you notice, my wheels are gone. You got some junk wheels, got junk wheels on the car. And now picture number 11 shows he took my headlights, the aftermarket headlights I had in the car. Number 12 will show that he took them also. And number 13 will show that he had the hood off my car and he was running my hood on his vehicle, according to his girlfriend. Number 14 will show aftermarket wheels on my car. Number 15, what's that?
They're different wheels.
Different wheels, just junk wheels. Number 15 will show that my wheels are missing on the rear also, they call it corner. Number 16 will show that he's got some just junk wheels on it. Number 17 will show junk wheels. Number 18 will show where he's damaging the body on the car. Number 19 refers to still just junk wheel on my vehicle. To transport it, I suppose, to the sheriff's office.
When you state junk wheels, what exactly?
Just a board wheel that will mount to that hub.
They weren't bags, or they weren't the swing wheels you mentioned.
No, they were not.
You have some other pictures regarding this matter?
Yes, I got number 20, Your Honor.
Once again, just go.
This number 20 refers to the motor he dropped off at the sheriff's office, thinking that he was going to get by with just showing the motor would be all right. But this motor, the casting numbers on it go to an 85 Chevy light duty car or a light duty truck. That is not the motor that I had in my Mustang.
Kevin, you asked order, otherwise contract with Mr. Marshall to replace the engine, remove the engine, do anything with the engine that was in that vehicle?
No, I did not.
Okay. You have further pictures?
Yes. Your Honor, number 21, number 22.
Now, these are after pictures?
Those are at the sheriff's office
Okay, that you found lot?
at the impound place, yes. Your Honor, number 21 and 22, this is still the impound yard at the sheriff's office. Shows he just threw my exhaust inside the car. Since, I don't know why, I guess because he took my motor and everything else out from under the hood.
Mr. Chairman, what type of exhaust was it?
It had Flowmaster exhaust, it had headers on the motor.
Okay. Can you explain what the court, what headers are?
They're for a high performance motor. I suppose that's why he threw my exhaust inside the car, because he had taken my headers and the motor and everything out. No way to support the exhaust.
And you mentioned that the motor that is dropped off at the sheriff's lot not the motor that was hit.
No, it was not.
Okay. You said, again, what can you tell us about?
My motor was orange, this motor is black.
Okay.
Your motor was what?
Orange in color. Motor he dropped off was black. And it,
What type of intake manifold is on your car?
it had a Wheeling intake manifold. Wheeling, Wheeling.
How do you spell that?
Same difference.
Good. W-E-I-L-E-N-D.
How?
W-E-I-L-E-N-D. If I might interject, Ron.
All right.
If I might interject, for several years, I was a master mechanic and ran repair shops, so I do have some background knowledge.
Well, yeah, that's nice for you, but
Just-
you're not a witness.
I know.
Just go ahead and ask.
You mentioned that a while, intake manifold, was that intake manifold in your car when you picked it up?
No, it was not.
Do you have any idea what you came of it?
No, I do not.
Okay. What about carburetor? What kind of carburetor was
It had a double pump, high performance carburetor. The carburetor cost $1,000.
it? Okay. What type of, that was when it left your staff, what type of carburetor was it when you picked it up at the impound lot?
There were no carburetor.
No carburetor. Did you look in the trunk?
Yes, I did.
What type of radiator is it?
It had a high performance radiator in it.
And you have a picture that would show that radiator?
No, I do not.
You have a picture of the radiator area when you picked the car up?
Yes, I did.
And I ask you that, when you
Have you pictured number 30 and 37 yards? I think that's okay.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes.
would you please tell the board what the picture that I said 30 and 37 is? You mentioned one example of.
Yes. Number 30 shows where the radiator is supposed to go in the car. And it's missing. Number 31 shows where the motor is supposed to be in the car. It's gone. Number 34 shows where he's cut everything out of it. And the thing in the very bottom looks to be the power steering pump. Number 33 shows he cut everything out from under the hood. 34 is another picture of where he's taking everything out from the engine compartment. Number 35 shows the passenger side of the engine compartment with everything missing. Number 33 out of 36 looks like a duplicate picture, and number 37 shows the engine compartment with nothing there, just power steering.
Other than the power steering pump that you mentioned, was there anything else under the hood of the car that would, such as engine, transmission, was all that going on?
He had a transmission in it, but he had the spongy cords holding it up, so I'm thinking that's not even the transmission in the car.
Okay. Do you have other pictures to show?
Yes, I do. I got a picture. This is pictures of the junk motor with the case number 38 through 45 yarn. Okay.
Would you please go through those pictures?
Yes.
And explain to the court what it is.
Yes. Number 38, Your Honor, is the casing number on the junk motor he dropped off at the sheriff's office. The casing number refers to, it goes to an 80 to 85 Chevy car or light duty truck.
Excuse me, Mr. Devon, how can you tell us that?
I had a mechanic research it, and it's findings about the casing number.
You mentioned case number, is that similar to an ID number?
Yes, it identifies the block.
And does each block have a different case?
Yes, it did.
Okay. Go ahead.
Your Honor, number 39 shows that there's no intake manifold, no carburetor. They're just a junk motor. And if you look at the plugs, well, I'll do that later. Number 40, that's just shows that there's nothing there, just a block with some junk heads on it. And number 41 just shows that there's nothing to the motor, it's been stripped. Number 42 shows another angle of the motor. And also, if you look at the spark plugs are coming straight out. My engine was orange and had the plugs at an angle because they were dart heads. The heads were worth roughly $1,500. Number 43 shows it just a junk block. And number 44 gives you a better view of the spark plugs coming out of these heads. They're just stock heads, and the heads have never been off this motor. And number 45 is another view of the junk motor.
The heads that you mentioned on that engine. What can you tell us about these?
They were dart heads, and the heads are, they were high performance heads, and they were worth roughly $1,500.
Okay, can you tell us what a dart head is?
It's a high performance head.
Okay. Would that be a factory high performance head, or would that be an aftermarket?
Aftermarket.
You also mentioned something about the spark plugs in the head. Can you mention Maybe an angle or something as far as the park looks, you explain, referring to there, how that would help identify one vehicle from another, lead Chevy from another.
Yes, the high performance heads and dart heads have the plugs at an angle, and these plugs are coming straight out, showing us a stock head.
Okay. Mr. Chairman, you don't mind me asking, how old are you?
74,
How long have you been around vehicles, cars, and cars?
50 years.
50 years. You mentioned earlier something about a wrecking yard, I understand you have a wrecking yard.
Yes, I did,
How long have you owned that wrecking yard?
since '04.
And are you hands-on as far as the wrecking yard, very familiar with vehicles are there, what comes and goes?
Yes.
Or is this remote command?
Yes.
Okay. Do you have any other businesses?
Yes, I did.
What are
On a Ken's Auto Sales Incorporated.
they? That is? What type of businesses?
Oh, a used car dealership.
And do you have any other businesses besides that?
Yes, I do. The wrecking yard,
Okay.
Hilltop Auto Parts by Ken's, and I own Wholesale Auto Parts, which is a parts store.
Okay.
Wholesale Auto Parts. And I own Jevlin Trailer Park too.
Sounds like you've got a vast experience of many years of automobiles and automobile engines and parts. Is that a correct statement?
Yes.
You have other pictures to show the court today?
Well,
I'm sorry, do you have other pictures to show the court today?
yes, I do. I have pictures 6 through 9, Your Honor.
Good.
Thank you.
Would you please describe those pictures and show it, or tell what they reveal?
Yes. Your Honor, number 6 is a picture I took of Mr. Marshall on the ground at his girlfriend's house on Mills Avenue in Lynchburg. He'd already pulled the motor out of my car, and he's down working on the motor now. You can see him between the two red Mustangs. That's number 6. Your Honor, number 7 is the vehicle in Lynchburg, right around the corner from Mills Avenue, with my wheels on this Mustang.
Could you please tell the relevance of Mills Avenue? Who lived there?
Mills Avenue is where Mr. Marshall's girlfriend, Katrina, lived, where he towed my vehicle to and started to disassemble my vehicle, in which he says he's selling a lot of parts on your car and using your hood on his car.
You spoke to Katrina Pearsall, is that correct?
Yes,
Is that over the phone?
yes,
And she gave you that information?
yes.
Go ahead, I think we'll discuss it.
Number 7 is my wheels on a Mustang right around the corner from Katrina's house on Mills Avenue. Number 8 is my Mustang setting out on 124 at his dad's residence, covered up with a car cover. As you can see, there's a red vehicle under and got the same aftermarket wheel on the back, so I know that's my car. Number 9 is a few, where it is out in the country on 124.
You got the pictures, sir?
Yes, I do. This is the body after, and okay, he's scratched down my car.
I see that one before, one before.
Sure.
What's wrong with that, and that picture?
For the record, Your Honor, we're referring to picture number 24. Mr. Jim Dunn discussing picture at fellow chips.
Section 23, 29, the pack that I have.
Yeah, 23, 29. But he said,
Any question about that?
thank you. Number 23 shows the junk wheels, and there were a scratch on my door there. Number 24,
Mr. Judge,
oh,
I don't want to get too far ahead of Mr. Judge.
Also,
the pictures. Go ahead.
number 24 just shows that, there's, still the aftermarket wheels he put on my car. Number 25 shows that he had the hood off my car and had it on his, and he's put a few scratches and dents in it. More or less scratches. And 26 shows the front bumper where he scratched it all up. He scratched up my bumper, supposedly, I'd say getting the headlights out of it. Number 27 shows where he chipped the corner of my hood, putting it probably on his vehicle. Number 28 shows my rear bumper where he didn't care. He scratched it all up. And number 29 shows the scratch on my door.
You have further pictures?
That is the extent of my picture.
That first. That.
Can I see that? Sure. What's this?
Jennifer, are you familiar with that document?
Yes, I am.
Did you make that document?
Yeah, look, this,
Oh, please. Your Honor.
I got it somewhere.
That is.
What's that here? It's pretty marked up. All right.
Yes, that's all.
Judge, I understand you got, Exhibit A. you familiar with that?
What is it? So,
Pardon?
what did you refer to that as on that number?
Oh, Plans Exhibit A.
No. Did you read the crime action ordinance fully? Plaintiff uses numbers. And he said we have 145, so that would make it 10%.
Thank you. Mr. Goodman, I just handed you a document marked as Plans Exhibit number 46. Have you seen that document?
Yes, I am.
Can you tell us something about the document? Who generated that document? And what
I generated a document, what parts were missing that were expensive was the MSD distributor. They're $392.95. The fuel pump, Mega Fuel, was $490.99. The radiator was $323.99. The intake manifold at Wheeling was $180.95. The carburetor was a 950 CFM Holly. It was $1,095.95. The engine, a 383 Stroker, was $6,549.99. The headers was $250.99. And the torque converter was $399.99. The sling wheels were $1,850.
you mentioned the MSD?
Yes. That's a high performance distributor.
And you mentioned the torque converter.
Yes, it was a stall converter in it.
You know the stall speed circuit?
I think it was 3,800 to 4,100 stall.
Go ahead. Have you covered everything?
I covered everything.
Where did you get this prices?
From Jags,
And what is Jake's?
a high performance shop,
Where are they located?
Columbus.
Did Jake's build the engine for the lieutenant?
Yes, it did.
Did what?
Build.
They built in.
Yes.
And did you buy that engine from Jake's?
No, it was in the car when I bought it. The guy told me all about the car, where the parts come from, what he paid for them.
Okay. You have any communication between you and Mr. Marshall regarding this?
Yes,
Regarding the terminal vehicle?
yes.
That's, would you please present that?
Yes.
This communications.
Can I sit down here?
What are we doing here?
Get proof that.
There's
What is it?
no miscommunication between Mr. Marshall and Mr. Goodman.
What's the guy's got an agenda?
I got the text messaging.
Okay.
Text message.
Alright. Well, you can get it tomorrow. He's a reference, but only, most courts have does this one. He's in the sticker. And I'm pretty traumatic over it, indicated that those would be pretty hard, so. I'm pretty sure you need to check that out before, unless you get the bottom this time, but, all this delay is unnecessary.
This,
So we'll need to mark these stipulations, satisfied about it. Starting, next number up is 47.
Gentlemen, you please, as we discuss these, please mark them as managing exhibit number 47 and following numbers.
right.
Ask you about those documents, about those text messages exchanged. I'm sorry, Mr. Marshall. Tell us what they are.
Yes, exhibit number 47 is where he tells me there's a $70 per hour fee for pulling my motor. And I'll have to pay him for doing that, and he charged me for 8 hours. And he said it'd be a storage fee of $27 per day added, due every day from 4/18/20. That would be exhibit number 47, and the storage fee will be adding up until we need to be paid full before the vehicle can be released. And there's a $500 repossession fee, that's now $600 repossession fee.
Kevin, did you agree to any of this?
No, I did not.
Who's the date of the communication?
4/18/20.
Kevin, thank you. Yes. John, moved it. May I approach the defendant? What do you have next? Kevin?
Next, he states that he's got a lawyer looking over this case, and he'll be in contact with me soon. That's still part of the exhibit. So I think you might want to show that to him.
Certainly.
So you get it. Now we'll get all of exhibit number 47. Okay, that. Exhibit number 47.
Yes. Your Honor, may I just put this on the record? You have further documents by way of text message with you and the defendant.
That should cover what I need. For.
What does that have to do with what?
That's exhibit number 47. That text message ain't about all I wrote to be.
Did you ever agree to pay prices that Mr. Marshall said he would charge you?
No, I did not.
Did he ever send you an itemized bill? Or anything?
No.
Did he give you a written estimate?
No.
Did you ever give him permission to remove the motor from the vehicle?
No.
Did you ever give him permission to take the tires or the wheels?
No.
discussed several things here of a different person missing. Did you ever give him permission to remove any of those parts or to sell any of those parts?
No.
Nothing further, Your Honor.
Alright, Mr. Marshall, you have the right to cross-examine the witness, may ask any questions. Not argument, it's not that fine, you'll have a chance to do that later. You can ask him any questions that you would like to ask about the case.
I didn't send you estimate towards, for the car, for all the fees that it was going to be charged.
I just presented it as exhibit number 47.
Yeah, no, he asked you.
Here. It's in the text message, it just says, $75 an hour, eight hours.
I'm saying, an
You're talking
invoice.
about your exhibit 46, aren't you? The list of parties?
Yeah,
Where I don't have a copy of that. You had that there?
I didn't understand.
Exhibit 46, the list went through all your parts.
Yeah, parts, yes.
Oh, there it is, line up there.
Okay, yes.
He would like to take a look at it.
That's what, Your Honor.
Yes.
thank you. Yeah, so this, 383 that you claimed that was in it
Yes.
is not the motor that was, delivered with the car. So, well, when you picked it up from the sheriff's.
No, the motor I picked up at the sheriff's office, junk motor.
Yeah, well, that's the motor when I'm picking up the car. I really don't know how to do this.
Okay.
Good.
You have any regret?
Excuse me, Your Honor, may I return this to you?
I have some questions, Mr. Devlin. When did you sell this car?
I'm thinking it must have been about April of maybe 19 or 2020.
Okay. And, sold it for $19,500, but according to the claim, it was a, financed it,
Yes,
and, how much was down?
$1,500.
Right. And then, when did, tell me about, I didn't hear a testimony about why you had to have it, picked up.
Because he had trouble with the motor.
Just for clarification, Mr. Jennings is referring to key, referring to the buyer residence.
I understand that, don't interrupt me again. Now, the question was, tell me how you came to, have a car picked up.
Well, I sold it to a guy, and this vehicle, you couldn't drive it on the highway because it's so, it's wound so tight. And he had trouble when he was coming back from Washington Courthouse with it, and he ended up putting it in a storage unit because it was the closest place to drop it off, I suppose. But he never paid tax or title or nothing on the vehicle. I give him credit for wheels he traded in on it. It was a total of $1,500, is what I give him credit. And I told him he had to pay his tax and title on it, so I put the title in his name, but he never did do it. And I was at the office one day, and Mr. Marshall overheard me say, "I got to pick that Mustang up." And he said, "I'll go get it."
Well, okay, tell me how you found out where it was, when did this happen?
It was, I'm thinking, Your Honor, it was probably about 4 or 5 months after the guy had the car.
All right, and was he supposed to be making monthly payments?
Yes,
And he hadn't made any payments?
hadn't made any payments.
All right, and then when did he tell you that the engine was in trouble?
I'm thinking that must have been 4 or 5 months later, I found out they had trouble with the motor.
Have you been trying to contact him?
Yes, I had.
And have you been having a conversation with this customer?
Yes, I had.
All right, and when did he first tell you that the engine was probably in?
Probably within that 4 or 5 month period.
Okay, so, what was this call you made where the defendant heard you talking about having the car picked up? Who were you talking to?
I think I might have been talking to the customer.
All right, the guy that had the truck, okay. This guy told you where it was?
No, I had to find out where it was.
How did you find out?
Mr. Marshall found it.
Okay.
He said it was in a storage unit in Xenia, and that's about as far as I knew.
Customer told you to had it in storage unit.
Yes.
Okay. All right. And so when you, had you agreed to pay Mr. Marshall how much?
$250 is what I pay repo fee.
That's typical repo?
Yes.
Okay. And have you ever, repo any cars there before?
No.
All right. Now, when did you, do you know when Mr. Marshall was able to pick up the car?
He got it, I'm thinking, Your Honor, probably within a week.
And how did you know that?
He notified my salesman at the lot that he had my Mustang, and he got it 2 days prior.
Okay.
And he took it to Lynchburg.
All right, did you call him then?
Yes.
And what did, say why it was?
I don't think he really gave me a reason why he took it to Lynchburg.
Okay, so what did you tell him to do with it?
I told him you need to bring the car to the car lot.
Okay. And, were the keys, do you know if you recovered the keys to the vehicle?
I don't think I had a,
I mean, when you got the customer.
yes, I think he would have had to get the
Did you have
key.
keys to the vehicle or the other vehicle you got it? Back in the sheriff's department?
Yes, but he had changed the ignition.
So it wasn't the keys that you had, right?
No. I take that back, Your Honor. One key was, but he changed the ignition so he could drive my car.
Okay. Right. And so, this all happened around August or so. You sold the car in April, and said about 4 to 5 months before.
Yeah, I think I sold it in August, Your Honor, and I think we repoed it in March or April.
August 20 and repoed in March or April of 21.
I'm thinking, well, some time went by, before I thought I need to go retrieve my car. I think I sold it in August of 19, and in March or April of 2020 is when the vehicle was repoed.
Oh, March or April 21.
Yes.
All right. And so, what efforts did you make to maybe get the vehicle back before you ended up filing a lawsuit?
What was that, Your Honor?
What efforts did you make to get the vehicle back before you filed a lawsuit?
I tried calling him several times, texting him, telling him he needs to bring my vehicle to my dealership, and he refused to do that several times.
And was that before you got this exhibit 47 that has his actually telling you about the charges?
Right.
But you had no time to authorize him to work on the vehicle.
No.
And was he doing any work for you at your dealership?
Yes, he was. Only for about a week, Your Honor, and I gave him a 1099. I've got a copy of the 1099 in my records here today.
And why did he quit coming back to work? Did you just quit calling him back? Or was
No, I never told him to come back the second day. He just showed up at my doorstep. I'm thinking, you need to call me before you come up here if I got any work for you to do.
So how many days did he work for you?
I'm thinking he probably worked 5 days for me, and he just kept showing up every day. I kept saying, Call me before you come up here. I mean, I had nothing for you to do, and I didn't.
I see in the one text, change here, this is the 47, and, I think that's also here. Yeah, in response, you said, wait a year, attorney, value my vehicle $25,000 cash. You had sold it 2 years earlier for $19,000.
Right. I sold to a good customer. I sold him another Mustang. And I had it on Marketplace for $25,000.
So what's the value of the vehicle now?
I've been offered $800.
Now, just on straight on the engine, the customer told me the engine wasn't running, and that's why he sold it.
He said it broke down on him on the freeway on 35.
Did he say what was wrong with it?
No, he didn't.
Because I know your complaint says that, I think it said lock in, yes, it during the drive, the customer locked up the engine and left it in the storage vehicle. So you were never confirmed what was wrong with the engine?
No, it was not.
But you would have been able to have an engine repaired?
Yes.
All right, that's all I have now. As a result of that, any other questions you would like to ask him? About you? All right, finish that down.
Thank you.
Next witness?
David Martin.
Marshall, will come up. Raise your right hand and sworn, please. You solemnly swear that the testimony about the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth, so help you. See right there? Go back over front, of you, please. All right, you may inquire, Mr. Mullen.
Martin, would you please state your name? Please state your name and spell your last name.
David Marshall,
How do you spell your last name?
MARSHALL.
You've heard the testimony of Mr. Joe. You've seen the before and after pictures. There's one large big question. Where are all these parts? And why aren't they on the car?
That's a good question. When I pulled the motor, that was the motor that was in it. When I pulled that motor out that far, it was just like he asked me, to repair the motor. But when I started to tear it down, that's when everything went crazy. Oh, wow, sorry. His, partner with the business, Pete, whatever his name was, 100%. Well, I do believe it was like Pete. He'd come in on every day with him, open hours, the whole way, and, he was the one ordering all the stuff, and he told me to go by what he had for me to do. When I worked on the car lot, I had to do that. But now on the wheels, I do admit, they did kind of mess up in my possession. The club was on it when the car was here. But while my ex had the car, she took it and put it somewhere else. Well, I had to retrieve the car with the Clinton County Sheriff's Office after we located it. And that's where I realized that the wheels had been taken and the headlights. So there's a statement report about the county.
Do you have a theft report, or do you make a report to the sheriff's department regarding those thefts? Do you have that report with you? Can you get a copy of that report?
Sure.
Okay, I'm going to ask you to do just
I have
that.
public records. So it would be your fault.
I'm not the one to make reports, sir. You're the one to say it. She moves all this stuff. I left the car, turned around, stuff was gone. And I
There
made
was the
a
only thing. Got headlights. He's claiming that there's so much, to be missing. When I picked up the car, it was the wheels and the headlights. That was the only thing different, other than the motor being set inside the car. But he's saying I cut out the engine and the transmission. No, I disassembled that to the SE, to any standards. All the race car guys, I built my own car, so why would I treat that one with the same respect I did my own? But when he failed to pay me any money, that's where I stopped work. I wasn't going to put that motor, take my time, put the motor back in when he failed to even pay me possession. So I left the motor set to the side. There you go. I wasn't going to put no more work into something that I had already put that much into. And then 2 years down the line, you guys finally want to come out to the car after that report was made with the bills. Or, yeah, around about time. You guys didn't want the car before, and then when I contacted you, you had told me, well, it don't matter about that other guy. My time's too valuable to be searching for him, so that's what we're going to have to do. And that's exactly what we're doing. And I think that's dirty regardless. Because me and him both know what that car was when I picked it up. Yeah. And when he drove by and took the pictures, he was talking to me then. So why wouldn't he have called the law then? Why wouldn't he have came after the car a long time prior to waiting until, what, 2 years almost? And now all of a sudden, you guys want it. He told me that he didn't want the car, and I was supposed to be waiting on the title at the end of it. Our last conversation was regarding that situation.
Do you have any documentary of this said where he tells you he doesn't want the car? You have a text of it all.
Just like when he told me that we better hope that that guy ain't smarter than he looks. Because he has paperwork, we was getting charged with grand theft. And that was as soon as I located the damn vehicle. His word, Johnson. I do have pictures, like on my phone, of the original contract with him and the guy that I was with the car from. And I can show you that, show you the date and everything.
You look at it, that, okay. Say what it is.
Mr. Marshall, you said you removed that engine from the vehicle. Is that correct? Where is he taking that? Where's the car?
The bottom was the only stuff that was on the car.
I just want to make sure I understand you correctly.
And he said, when I told him that, he said, well, I don't want to take the car. How am I going to put that car's useless? And that's what was crazy. Because, like, just now he tried to say the car was $800. $25,000 ticket. What? You're claiming $2,500 for a motor? That wasn't even in it, but you take $2,500 that said $1,800 bills, at your prices that would only be close to the $1,800 that he's been offered. That's absurd.
You understand that testimony was by the judge. We asked Mr. Jebna what the value of the car was, and Mr. Jebna said, well, I had it all. Excuse me, Your Honor. Mr. Jebna needs to go to the restroom.
All right.
Maybe we take
Okay,
a recess.
And
Please rise.
it's a water pump, you're not, it's liquid like this. It's up here. Okay, that's the one here.
Thank you, sir.
He's in that bed, and he just rested out there.
See your eyes? I gotta put a scanner in this morning. All right, thank you, you're across.
Mr. Marshall, you mentioned that you removed the engine from the vehicle. Right. Tell me, okay, at that time, the engine was complete. No. Okay.
Just like it was, other than the belt being on it, and, taking all vehicles off of it. Right, but there was no copy of the intake. There was, actually, there was even, vodka. Because I ended up putting the vodka on the foot.
Stated that you worked under the table for Mr. Jevons, is that correct?
That's correct.
So, just didn't give you, any paperwork, anything like that,
On that day, I asked him to, how do you work for me? On that, and he said, yeah, I mean, you can. So we discussed everything, he decided, he wanted to keep me under the table. Save him from having to file taxes. And he was paying me, doing all the calls. Well, he, I want to say that he would give me the rundown of what I needed to do for the day also. So on days that he wasn't there, he worked. And I just worked in the garage, just like any other employee, whatever, anyway.
so you're familiar with the location that Mr. Jevons' garage, Starlight, and you say you worked there, right?
Somewhat, that's why I'm over there at that.
Okay.
I'm from it.
Can you explain to me why, when you, Mr. Jeff, had a garage, and you've been there and seen the facility, why would you take the Mustang from Lynchburg rather than taking it to Mr. Jevons' facility?
Because when I located the car, that's the thing, when I located the car, the deal was, he was supposed to tow the car. If I had to pay to have somebody tow it out of there, just because I recovered the car, he knew I was in it. So I didn't have a tow truck. And he was supposed to answer the phone, and if he didn't, I was supposed to hire a tow company to come pick it up. Well, in the process, he didn't answer the phone like he was supposed to. So when I retrieved the car, I had to pull up and set up on top of the hill for a while before the tow truck would even come. Well, when the tow truck did arrive, I ended up taking it to Lynchburg because that's when he got called me back because I had nothing to
That's what?
I love the police on his phone and he's, or, is that his name? He, his other employee. Is it he?
Yes.
May I put it on?
Right.
Marshall, I'm going to show you a document. Big state counter document. Please tell us what that is. And what does that 1099 show?
Also,
Your Honor,
way more than that.
They mark this exhibit, they mark this exhibit,
not sure what the last exhibit.
you said it was the last. Okay.
Mr. Marshall, you mentioned that you took the tires and wheels off that car. Why?
Then I took the wheels off the car because I had to store it because he told me he didn't want the car, and I wasn't gonna have it in the winter time, sitting with the wheels and tires on the ground, so I changed the wheels out. And when I changed them out, they were sitting in my ex's house when we were broke up, that Katrina aerosol. Section. But when we split up, the car was still in the garage, and it was good. And when I returned the car back from, with the Clinton County Sheriff's out there off North Switch Road, the road was going, headlights was going, and I would say, yeah, the motor was sticking out at that time. The motor was good. The motor was set. Just that.
When you said I was sitting there, what was the city? Inside the car, inside the engine? I said, when you say the motor was sitting there, was it sitting inside the car, inside the engine compartment? Or was it sitting somewhere around the car?
Sitting inside the engine compartment.
Okay. And you removed that motor, correct?
Yeah, all right. I was asking. Wasn't bolted up when,
You mentioned, with Katrina,
yeah.
you tell the court the relationship with Katrina,
That's my ex.
that's your ex-girlfriend.
The reason why you guys made this case, because as soon as she said something, you guys found one in the car. And now we're instead of just getting over the title.
Were you living with, Katrina? Were
Where are you living with the train?
Yeah, on time. During that time, yeah.
So she was familiar with what you were doing at the time, as far as your job?
Yeah. She knew exactly what was going on. She was the one that was going to help me, start my business.
She gave you permission to move that car to her home,
She gave me permission to what?
move the car, move the Mustang to her home. She gave you permission, said, hey, yeah, go ahead and put it in my backyard. Did she give you permission to do that?
Yeah. And the took her dropped it off. She didn't say no, don't be done.
Did you work on the vehicle? Excuse me, Your Honor. Did you work on the vehicle while it was at Mr. Wilson's parents' house? What did you do while it was there?
What is it?
What did you do to the vehicle while it was there?
I was seeing what all was missing, so I didn't let him know. And, pretty much checking the trans, making sure everything, like underneath the train, our train, everything was shattered, broken, like the motor was on the car, on 5, 6. That's pretty much it.
Okay, now, you stated that,
That's what I started doing.
you stated that you spoke to Mr. Jevon, and he said he didn't want the car back. Is that correct?
Yeah, he said that's him, when I told him, I was taking storage facility.
Did you remove the tires and wheels while the car was located at Katrina's place, at Katrina's house?
What was it?
Did you remove the tires and the wheels while the car was at Katrina's house?
Yeah. She said that.
If Katrina made a statement that Mr. Jevon had asked for his car back, and she received that information from you Would that be accurate?
Nothing she said was accurate.
Well, she said that you removed the tires and wheels while the car was at her house. Is that accurate?
It wasn't just me. I obviously had help.
Who's your help?
With mechanics.
Who's your help?
She was my help. So,
Okay, let's answer the question I just asked. Katrina made a statement that Mr. Jebna asked you for the car, asked you to return the car. Would that statement be accurate? And you got that information from you.
the only time he ever asked to bring the car, he still wasn't paid for. Tell you. And I even contacted the sheriff at that point and said, what he's trying to do. And they said, don't get scared, don't let him,
Objection hearsay.
Oh,
Just saying.
May I approach, Your Honor?
Okay.
This is a filing in this protective matter. It's a defense filing from Katrina Pearsall, and it's part of the record in this court. Sir. See the star on the paper, would you please? Repeat that, read that. We'll start right there. Would you please read that? Aloud.
I start at the start, is that what you're asking? Start from here, and then go down, all right? Because, I don't start with something. Start from there, and work my way down.
Please read between the brackets there.
To his father, Mr. Marshall, later mentioned to me one day that Ken's father was working their car.
Thank you. This is a filing that Ms. Pearsall put before the court by way of defense. It is part of the court record.
So, yeah, but that's still, she went there as he wanted his partner. At one time, he was trying to threaten me just to keep the car.
Objection.
And then all of a
Wait,
sudden,
there's objection of this saying we can't testify.
Sir, do you have a tax ID number for your business?
yeah,
When did you get it?
for a while, before I ever actually went through with, starting business.
Did you have it at the time that you told Mr. Jedna you would go pick up his car?
No. Okay, so when you be hiring them, be available for that, right?
So you did not have a tax ID when you agreed.
I'm almost positive on it.
The wheels and the headlights of Mr. Jedna's car, what happened to them?
I already told you. I do not know.
Okay, so if somebody said that you had those wheels and that you had those headlights,
I'm trying to around.
so they were on your car.
It was never on my car, classified. It wasn't even fit on my car. I wasn't even police report if the statement was true or if it about this.
May I put it on? Mr. Marshall, I present the same document that I presented a short time ago, and this is the filing of this particular matter. It is, the filing from this 5 years old regarding its occurred. Would you please read the bracket department?
Mr. Marshall had another Mustang by that time, and the wheels and headlights off of the repossessed, I guess, car were on his Mustang. On his own Mustang. Once again, we looked at my car, and it's a Honda, those 4 wheels. How you try to put them on there if they don't fit on?
Why would you take the headlights off of Mr. Gibbons' car and put them on your car? Would your headlights burn out?
The headlights? Are you guys talking about bulbs or the headlights? That's the question.
We previously,
Because I never used anything off that car to begin with. And for 2, the headlight assembly is only within the headlight. Nothing would fit my car. Now back then I did have a Mustang until 5 months, and I had headlights in it. Oh,
may I approach your? Sir, we take a look at this car right here. Look,
That is except you're looking at the blue car.
yes, sir. Whose car is it?
guy from Huntsville,
No? What's his name?
Jason. I don't know if that's what about? There's another Mustang that's same exact wheels. So if people want to go and try and say, that's his wheels, I'd love to see how you know that. And if they are, you better be showing.
That's exactly what we're looking for around here. Around.
Take a look at the headlights.
Take a look at the headlights. On that.
Oh, so they would say headlights.
Yes.
Come on, there. Headlights are on. You can clearly see why. Now, you can look at the rims and they look very resemble each other. But there's a blue Mustang, a guy driving around with the same exact, with the same exact wheels. I chased him down too, trying to find out when it's wheels. See, down there with the car, it ain't like I wanted to take the wheels and sell them. What would I got the money, I don't need to go do that, just to have a little bit of money. I was helping him out by repossessing the car. And then he tried to shaft me by not paying anything. He wouldn't even pay the civil repossession fee in the beginning. And I told him, like, don't pay this, it's adding up. And it worked out 2 years later, and he don't know.
There are a lot of very expensive parts missing. I'd like to know what happened to them. The car was in your possession.
I don't know if you did it on. I got it, you guys got it, headlights, and I got that in before.
Now, where are the headlights right now?
I just told you.
The car was in your possession.
The car was mine. It was in my possession, I believe, but it was at her house. And before I retrieved it from her house, the car, she had taken it elsewhere. And when the Cook County Sheriff's Department found it, that's when I realized everything else.
She had taken it elsewhere?
Somebody.
Where did it go?
Me. Huh?
Where did it go? Is it Take me out.
Not much, it's wrong.
Where's your father live?
Huh?
Where does your father live, sir?
My father, 124.
Okay.
And we're looking most of us. 10 minutes away.
Okay, so,
The guy that lives on Moses was supposed to be some family like a cousin, but maybe.
objection, speculation.
Yeah, I'll say.
Good. What happened to the torque converter?
Converter was on. I don't see the difference. Because it was on, when I had that car, drove off at the sheriff's came out, it was on.
It was on the transmission.
On the transmission. Of the transmission, I had to roll up with a strap and bump. Well,
The torque converter was on the transmission. That's what you tell me.
yeah.
We presented pictures earlier on, I presented those pictures to you, and you look thrown.
I want to see where, converter, all on that transmission.
You mentioned that you billed Mr. Devlin. Do you have a copy of that bill?
Do I have what? Copy of the bill?
Send a bill, yes.
Yeah.
Did you mail the bill to Mr. Devlin, or did you drop it off the post?
That's right here. That's what I was asking. And it shows where he had received it on 4 different occasions where he had looked at that. Invoice. Both.
You have a copy of the invoice with you right now?
Yeah, right here on the phone. I got a copy of it.
Did you mail a copy? You mail an invoice to Mr. Devlin?
Yeah, send multiple. Invoices.
Do you have anything to prove that you mailed it, such as a return receipt request?
Probably.
Don't you think it'd be a nice time to have it right now? Is that available to you right now, sir?
Well, invoice?
Yes. You said you mailed the invoices to Mr. Devlin. And I asked you if you proved, yeah, you've got your evidence. I said, right now, wouldn't it be a nice thing to have?
Then I just say yes. Would be.
Can you obtain it? Can you get it? If the court gives us a brief recess? Yeah.
How long is this? That's the question.
How long would it take you to get it?
I got it right here on my phone, but showing that he was.
I asked for documentary evidence, sir, and you said, well, I mailed it to him. I mailed it to him 4 times.
What?
We also discussed some other evidence here pertaining to the tires and wheels. And asked you several times what happened to them.
That's been asked me, actually, but it's long.
Yeah, this is John. The other may have a question.
Right.
Just for the record, this is, plaintiff's exhibit 49 that they've been referred to, and it's already in the files in this particular case. I guess your,
Well, it's
Marshall.
part of the record, the court takes additional notice of it.
Okay.
It doesn't make it this.
No, okay. I just want to make sure that it's before the court.
Well, it's in the file.
Okay. Your Honor, at this time, I will rest.
All right, I have some questions. When's the first time you invoiced Mr. Devon for the repo?
It shows the first time was there on 8/19 of 2001.
Is that the day you picked it up?
Picked it up.
How much is your bill?
No, I picked it up on 4/8.
4/8?
Yeah, 2000.
All right, so you didn't invoice him until August 19th.
Yeah.
All right. And tell me again, you're at the, you got the, roll back, pick up the vehicle. Why didn't you just take it right back to the law?
Because I was on the phone with,
Well, he did on the car, Mr.
Yeah.
Devon did. Why didn't you take it back to the law?
because I was told that they had file on the phone.
Why would they have, why would we tell you that when they have their own garage there and work on their cars there?
Because the client's gonna come there and flip out on him, there's a.
The client is, the client had to pay for it, I was gonna flip out because he's not making payments and been refunded.
He, wasn't, they didn't give him a chance. That's what, people were right on with the car was the original agreement. And when he sent me out to the car, it was within days after, he made the deal.
What is the date you have on your phone that says, say, that you got this agreement?
It's a picture of her. It's dated for 4/3.
4/3 of
2020. Yeah, 4/3/2020. And that's their actual, it's like a piece for the car.
Right, but the reason that he hired you was to get in the car back, correct?
He didn't really hire me, but he asked me to, and he offered, he did say, hey, I'll give you this much. But.
Well, I
was
mean, you're willing, so you assume you were hired, you were willing, so. Question is, the purpose of your getting the car was to get it back to Mr. Devon, right? Okay. And he told you that the customer had told him that the engine wasn't working correctly? And he told you that he had to get the car back because the customer said the engine wasn't
At
working.
that time, he, mentioned it once,
Okay.
but he didn't say what was wrong. He just
Right,
said-
right, I don't think
He
he did.
drove down the highway.
Right. So what he said your day is, you were wrong, you were working.
Yeah, that's,
Alright, so when you went to pick it up, it was, he knew that the engine, I mean, as far as the two, he knew the car wasn't running.
yeah,
So he hired you to bring it back to the shop.
okay.
Alright, that's all I have. Alright, you have anything else that Bob I asked?
Excuse me, just a minute, please. Mr. Marshall, how fast or how quickly do you notify Ken that you know that you repossess the car? How many days?
I notified him before he, I called him, back on and then, when I actually got to talk to him, like verbally, without any messages or anything between, it was the next morning. But I talked to Pete that same night as I was putting on the truck, because he didn't answer the phone. And he knew I was going out to the car at that same time. And he knew that he was the one who was supposed to be picking it up, so it would go back there. So I didn't have to come out of pocket, and it'd be more expensive. When I don't have a tow truck, it's kind of hard. But you can almost charge $250 there. Repossess a car, and have to pay $250 just for tow. I was on jail, I go, like, if I go out to repossess a car for it, I would expect, since he has 3 tow trucks or whatever he got there, he would go out and pick it up like he was planning.
I would object as far as speculation. Positive by Mr. Marshall.
Overruled. Next question.
Nothing further, Your Honor.
All right, you may step down. You're going to get a chance to put on your own case later. This is what's called cross. We have said by. All right, now for this.
Rest.
All right, we all have your service.
Yes, Your Honor. That's all we do, we do evidence.
Okay. Good 48 has been authenticated. Well, I'm not going to get that. This one, subject to rule, limited time. Mr. Marshall, do you object to any of this 147?
No.
There it is. All right. Now, Mr. Marshall, the matter is now on your side of the case, so that you may present any evidence and testify further about anything you feel that you weren't asked about that you would like to offer as testimony at this time. Is there anything further to say?
Yeah.
Okay, well, come back up and witness stand then. Again, this is an argument. We do not argue on this case. Evidence. All right, so go ahead and you're still on the side.
No problem.
You just have to testify. You don't have to tell questions and answers. Just go ahead and testify as to matters that you weren't asked about already.
Okay, so can I ask him a question? Ask him why?
Well, if you want to call him as part of your case, you may. Right now, I'm only here for you. So you offer your testimony, then you decide you want to call him back and stand, you may.
Yeah, when I was helping him down there, he was, I don't know where to start, honestly, I'm lost with this one case. I guess we'll just move on.
You guess what?
I guess we could just move on to the next one.
You don't have anything else you'd like to testify to? Okay, you can step back now. Now, you want to call any other witnesses?
Me?
Yeah.
I got my notes. Well,
Did you want to call him back to the stand and ask him some questions?
yeah.
All right, Mr. President, come back up and take the stand, please. Be on the cross. All right. Go ahead and ask a question, Mr. Marshall.
On the same day that I had picked up the car, notified you that I had possession of the car, and I was at the impound waiting for, the facility, waiting for the tow truck. Why did you tell me that we better hope that guy is not smarter than he looks? Because if he is, we're getting charged with theft on that phone call.
I didn't mention nothing like that.
You didn't?
No.
You're on oath right now, you know that, right?
Yes.
And you never said that.
No.
I got the,
Any other questions, Lance?
no.
All right, finish that now. Any other witnesses? Any other witnesses? All right,
Sorry, Your Honor.
no problem, it's your case. All right, do you have any rebuttal of whatever just happened?
No, Your Honor.
All right, then, Mr. Molly?
Yes, sir. This case, Your Honor, is not really complicated. Simple business, it should be a simple business transaction. I've got cars over there, you go get cars, go get my car, bring it here. That was the agreement. Particular car here is a collector's item, and it has an awful lot of very expensive parts on it. Those parts aren't there anymore. That car and those parts were in possession of Mr. Marshall. One huge looming question, where are the parts? What happened to them? They had value, they were worth some money, what happened? And that seems to be the one question that Mr. Marshall can't really give a definitive answer to. I believe through these proceedings that the best question asked was what Your Honor asked. Mr. Marshall, why didn't you take it to Fairmont? That was a deal. Take over to Mr. Devon, get your money, and this is done. We don't have an answer for that. But we've all like to know the answer. I have nothing further, Your Honor.
All right, anything you would, like to argue? This is your time to argue now, Mr. Moore. All right. Court will rule on this matter, okay. The court finds, that, the defendant wrongfully took possession of the vehicle and took it to, Rockland County rather than taking it to the, plaintiff's, lot. It makes no sense to court why, he would try to get his vehicle back and then, tell you to take it to Hyde County. And, as far as what the speed guy is, it doesn't matter, the vehicle, and the plaintiff, there's never any discussion going to play of that other than you getting a car, back again. Now, you're claiming that the vehicle, that was a motor in it, that doesn't really make any sense either. Just look at that engine, an engine that's been in use for a while, but the bottom line is that the car was in your possession, and you claimed that, well, you had the wheels taken off, and the tire taken off, because you didn't want to set it on the right weather. And of course, it all went, I'm not sure exactly why that'd be a problem. Just jack it up, move them around, it's not running, you do things of that nature. In any event, if you hadn't taken the wheels off and the tires off, it would have been bigger. Now, you also removed the engine, claiming that was the engine. That makes no sense for, it's just, parts missing and, excuses that you offered really just not much credibility. And, then we have here the billing, which you didn't send till August, which apparently to me is, when you, realize that you wanting the vehicle back, and appeared to be an effort to simply come up with, money you would bank in order to mitigate your losses. Now, the complaint asks for damages, so the court finds that you're responsible, you took possession of them lawfully and kept it from him, and it was taken out of your possession by your friend or family. That's your fault, because you couldn't have it, should have been returned. He paid you for working for him. I don't understand why he wouldn't take it back there and agree to expect to get paid. This community understood you or any mechanic. So the court is going to award damages, not for the value of the contract, but for the items that are listed on Exhibit 46. The MSP distributor, $392.95, fuel pump, $9.99, illuminator, radiator, illuminator, intake manifold, carburetor, the engine, headers, torque converter, and the sling wheel system. And that would be, you guys don't have to tally all of that, but all the values on that would be awarded. There's no testimony as to any, I don't know if those were installed or not, but if they weren't, there's no testimony as to any labor. So just assuming that parts labor, but if not, no testimony offered as to that. So, once I tally those items, $392.95, $490.99, $323.99, $180.95, $1095.95, $549.99, $250.99, $399.99, $18.50. And that's the evidence that the court has. The court will tally this up, judgment granted, that amount plus cost of the action. I'll prepare the decision, and the entry will be filed probably in a day or two. All right. Anything further, counsel?
There you go.
All right. We're there.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Can I go out behind you?
Yeah, that's fine.